Hi everybody, welcome back to class. In this video, we're going to be continuing our lesson, our studying with unit conversions. Now, last week when we were working with unit conversions, we were looking at the two rules of silly babies dancing and bright summer mornings, where remember, we're looking at these letters here for what they mean. Silly babies dancing is when you're going from a small unit to a big unit or bigger unit. You're going to divide. And when you go from a big unit or bigger unit to a small or smaller unit, you're going to multiply. And we also worked with just one-step unit conversions. One step would be an example of 5 kilograms equals how many grams. You always start with what you know. In this case, we know we have 5 kilograms, and we're going to put it over 1. Remember, we're going to multiply by 1 using the conversion factor. So in this case, remember to always cancel your units immediately. There's a kilograms in the numerator. We're going to put a kilograms in the denominator, and we're going to match up the units. So when we look at mass, we can go directly from grams to kilograms or kilograms to grams using the unit conversion factor. 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. The 1 stays with the kilogram, and the 1,000 goes with the grams up in the numerator. Kilograms cancel, and you get 5 times 1,000, which equals 5,000 grams. And again, this is a one-step unit conversion because there's only one conversion factor in there. Today, what we're going to look at is going to be 2 or more steps. Problems that have 2 or more steps. So it's going to work the same exact way. But now you're going to have to recognize how to follow a path, how to work your way to the end. And always work with either constantly increasing units that match up or constantly decreasing units. And you'll see what I mean by that. So let's look at letter A here. Example, letter A. Before I begin, I want you to try to see if you could solve this before we get going. Take a second and do so. Okay. Coming back for letter A. Remember to always start with what you know. In this case, we know we have 0.946 liters. And we're going to set it over 1. We want to get to cubic centimeters. That's where we want to get to is cubic centimeters. So we have to ask ourselves, can we turn liters directly into cubic centimeters? No. According to our conversion factors, I can go liters to milliliters. So I can't do that in one step this time. But you can turn milliliters into cubic centimeters. And you can turn liters into milliliters. So what you have to do is go from liters to milliliters, then milliliters to cubic centimeters. You got to go through the milliliters to get to the cubic centimeters. This is going to work out the same way. So you know you've got to get to cubic centimeters, and milliliters can be turned into cubic centimeters, and you can turn the liters into milliliters. So let's do that. We have liters in the numerator. We'll put a liters in the denominator. According to the conversion factor up here, up by volume, 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. The liters cancel out. So we're left with milliliters, but milliliters is not what we want yet. So we have to go a step further now. We have to get rid of the milliliters. So we're going to put a milliliters in the denominator, and we're going to see with cubic centimeters, how do those match up? Well, we see 1 milliliter equals 1 cubic centimeter. The milliliters cancel, and now we have what we want. So we're going to plug this in the same way you would any other time. You're going to multiply everything in the numerator, so we get 0.946 times 1,000 times 1, all over 1, which comes out to be 946 centimeters cubed. And this would be a two-step unit conversion because there are two conversion factors here. Let's look at the next one, B. Take a second on your own, and I want to see if you can try to solve this on your own. See if you could figure this one out on your own. Okay, let's come back and try to work our way through this one. We're going to start with what we know. We're going to start with what we know, and what we know is we have 103, I'm going to zoom in a little here. We have 103.25 centimeters, and we're going to set it over 1. Well, we need to go from centimeters to kilometers, but when we look up at our conversion factors, and we look at length, I can't go straight from centimeters to kilometers. Kilometers is down here. So we have a problem. We can't go straight from centimeters to kilometers in any of them. I have a centimeters here and a centimeters here, and neither one of them go to kilometers. But remember that we have to go up. Kilometers is bigger than centimeters. So the one here with centimeters to millimeters, that's going down. So we don't want to do that. We do not want to go down in our units there. So we want to go up in our units. So centimeters and meters, that works out there. That's on a better path. We're going up in units. But I notice that I can turn centimeters into meters and then meters into kilometers. So you're going to do two steps here to convert it over into kilometers. So we're going to look at this. So we have centimeters in the numerator. We're going to put centimeters in the denominator automatically. We see, according to the conversion factor, 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So the centimeters cancel, but we still don't have kilometers yet, so we're still not done. If you don't have kilometers in the numerator, you're not done. So we're going to do another conversion here. And if we look at the next conversion factor, we see that we have meters in the numerator, we need meters in the denominator. 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. The kilometers cancel out, or the meters cancel out, and we're left with kilometers. So we now have the unit we were looking for. So we're good there. So now what we're going to do is just go through the mathematical operations. We get 103.25 times 1, so it's just 103.25 divided by 100 times 1,000. Whenever you plug that into the calculator, you get 103.25 divided by 100 times 1,000 equals 0.0010325 kilometers. So you can see 103.25 centimeters is not that much of a kilometer. It's very tiny. It is a very tiny number. But this would be your correct answer. And again, we'd had one step, two steps for the unit conversions. That would be a two-step unit conversion. Let's work on the last one we have here for this notes section. Again, we're going to go to C here. And I want you to try to solve this one on your own see if you can figure it out before we go through it. Okay, let's work our way through this problem now. So we're going to start with what we know. We know we have 1,560 seconds. We're going to put that over 1. So we want to go increasing units. So we're going from seconds to days. So we are going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit. So we have silly babies dancing. So we know we are going to be dividing here. But we need to find the right path to go down. When we look up at our conversion factors, seconds can only be turned into minutes. And that isn't directly to days. But you notice I can then turn minutes into hours and then hours into days. So what you're finding out here is this will actually turn out to be a 3-step unit conversion. So you've got to follow the path here. I can go seconds into minutes, minutes into hours, hours into days. So you're following this path through the conversion factors. So in this first case, we have seconds in the numerator. Let's put seconds in the denominator. And we see that we have 60 seconds equals 1 minute. The seconds cancel, but we're still not done. We don't have days on the top yet. So now, what can we turn minutes into? Well, according to this, we can turn minutes into hours. So 60 minutes equals 1 hour. The minutes cancel, but we're still not done yet. We're still at hours. So then we're going to do our last unit conversion here, where we go hours into days. Where now we have hours in the numerator, hours in the denominator. 24 hours equals 1 day. We now have the unit we were looking for at the end. And remember, as you're working through these problems, it's helpful at this point in time where you're just getting started with unit conversions to, as you work through, for example, with this, when we went 1,560 seconds and we had to convert to seconds, put the seconds down there first so you know they cancel for 1, but also you can match the units up properly. You know that the 60 goes with the seconds and the 1 goes with the minute. If you reverse it, you're going to mess up your math. You're going to mess up how to solve the problem. So make sure you do that. So moving on here, we're going to multiply everything in the numerator together, which just comes out to be 1,560. And we're going to divide it by all the denominator multiplied together. So divided by 60 times 60 times 24. And after you plug that into your calculator, you get an answer of 0.01805555556 days. So even though 1,560 seconds sounds like a big number, sounds like a lot, it's not much of a day at all. It's not much of a day at all. It's not even a tenth of a day here. So in a problem like this, when we would be going into, if I was asking you to write this down in class, or if I was asking you to put it in a Google form or an answer in a quiz, I would tell you to round these at either the hundredths, the tenth, the thousandths. In this case, let's round at the hundredth. So we're going to round at the hundredth. What would be the final answer for this? The final answer comes out to be, if we round there, 0.02 days, because the 8 is going to round the 1 up. I hope this video helps you out as we get ready to work through our next section. Please make sure to take notes on your own on this. Go back. I'm recommending you handwrite these notes. If you need to rewatch this, please rewatch this. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Everybody, you have a wonderful day.